All right, live pictures right now from St. Louis, where it sure does look picturesque and beautiful, but it's feeling really hot as well as the temperatures creep up into the 90s. St. Louis is just one of dozens of cities feeling some intense heat this weekend. More than 100 million Americans will see temperatures creeping towards triple digits. And for the first time this year, the National Weather Service issued a heat advisory for New York City. Joining me right now, CNN correspondent Polo Sandoval is in Brooklyn. And I'm wondering, Polo, when you're going to run through that splash pad yourself. I see the kids are trying to stay cool.
Maybe the next hour, Fred. You know, I was actually surprised. The local Italian ice vendor said it's actually not, business is really not that high up, which is kind of surprising because if you're out here, you'll find just about any way to beat the heat. As you see, some of the youngest of the nearly 100 million people that are directly impacted by some sort of heat advisory today, finding their own way to keep cool. Maybe I might give this a try later on. But the reality is, look, this combination of heat and humidity, it could prove deadly for the most vulnerable. And that's why you're seeing cities all throughout the Northeast. They're keeping some of those cooling centers open, and they're also issuing those warnings and the reminders for people not just to stay hydrated, to stay cool, but also checking on the elderly, checking on the most vulnerable, especially those who don't have air conditioning. A few days ago, I was in Burlington, Vermont, found out that about a third of that state doesn't have air conditioning. Why would they? It's Vermont. But when you have this unseasonably hot and humid weather, that's the dangerous potential for those people who simply aren't used to it. Look, I grew up in Texas, I know what heat is, but when you're not used to this, that's where things can get quite dangerous. So in Washington, D.C., the mayor there, Fred, is considering extending that heat advisory potentially into next week because today they will be nearing triple digits. It's very similar in Maryland as well.
All right, Polo Sandoval, we're appreciating the warnings. I know the kids are having fun out there, but we understand and underscore that it is dangerous heat out there. So all the precautions have got to be taken. Thank you so much, Polo. All right, I want to bring in meteorologist Elisa Raffa, who is tracking all of this from the CNN Weather Center. So yes, it's summertime. It's supposed to be hot, but this is exceptional, Elisa.
Yeah, we've seen daily records fall multiple days this week, and we could do that again as we go through the day today. You've got excessive heat warnings from Philadelphia, parts of Pittsburgh too, and then look at the advisory stretching down to D.C. and Norfolk, Virginia. We are finding that more than 80% of the lower 48 will continue to find temperatures above 90 degrees as we go into the week. More than 250 daily records, both daytime highs and overnight lows, could fall as we go through the next couple of days. Look at the high temperatures today: 97 Dallas, 92 Kansas City, 95 St. Louis, 93 Cincinnati, 92 in New York, 98 in Washington, D.C. That is your forecast. We could, though, see temperatures get up to 100 degrees. The last time Washington, D.C. hit 100 degrees was 2,868 days ago. It was back in 2016, so it has been a long time. So D.C., at last check, was 97 degrees so far. So again, we're watching to see if we can hit that century mark. Could also get close to 100 degrees from Philadelphia, D.C., Richmond, Virginia as we go through the weekend. New York sweltering in the low and middle 90s. Notice, though, by Monday we start to find these temperatures get back knocked down into the 80s, closer to average. A cold front will come through with a couple of storms, and that will kind of ease that heat a little bit. But until then, we're not even really finding any of that relief at night. Overnight temperatures have been sweltering in the middle and upper 70s. You can find an overnight low tonight of 80 degrees in D.C. So when you have these temperatures that just stay so warm at night, you just don't get that relief. It's really hard to get relief when, again, it's still so muggy at night, Fred.
Yeah, a low of 80. I mean, that's quite extraordinary. All right, Elisa Raffa, thank you so much. Appreciate it.